Hello, viewers. Hope you are doing well. Let's see what is in store of knowledge today. Okay, tell me one thing. How do you feel when you lose something special in your life? Upset, sad or depressed, angry, frustrated? Have you ever thought that? Why do you feel so? Or is this loss replaceable or not? Okay, let me tell you. Sometimes we lose anything which is very valuable in our life. That can be any possession, that is our belongings, the person that is our beloved one, or the goal. I'm giving you few of the examples. For example, at present time, mobile is the most valuable thing for everyone. Suppose if your mobile fell into the water, not any bucket or anything else, that is a river or sea, and you can't get it back. How do you feel it? Another mobile can't replace it. Why? What is the reason? Because maybe you have captured your good memories in that mobile. Your snapshots are there in that mobile, which can't get back. That is the reason that new mobile can't replace it. Secondly, if your favorite dress is torn and you can't wear it again, then how do you feel? Suppose you have prepared very well in your exam to get first position in the exam. Maybe someone else has prepared better than you, and that student is achieving and you did not achieve. Then how do you feel? So these things happen in our day-to-day life. We lose our valuable possession. Then how do we feel? Do we learn to move on ahead? The same happens in the poem, The Bowl Poem with the Boy. The Bowl Poem is written by John Berryman. John Ellen McAlpin Berryman was an American poet and scholar. He was born on 25th October 1914 in Oklahoma, in United States of America. He was educated at Columbia University. 77 Dream Songs and Berryman's Shakespeare are some of his famous works. He was awarded with Pulitzer Prize for the poetry in 1969. Pulitzer Prize is one of the famous prizes given for outstanding achievements in the field of American journalism, poetry, and music. He died on 7 January 1972. Let's have a look on the title of the poem, The Bowl Poem. Here, we are not talking about any of the bowl. We are talking about any particular bowl. Why is the ball specified? Ball is very inexpensive, very cheap. You can buy any other if it is lost. But no. Here, the ball is personified with the innocence and the childhood memories of the boy. You know which memories you have as a child in the school, at home, with parents, teachers. These are unforgettable. Likewise that, the boy has memories of playing with that particular ball. These can't be replaced by a new ball. He is emotionally connected with the ball. How he has purchased that ball, how much he has played with that ball. His past memories are associated with the ball. So the message given by the poet in the poem is that how to be careful or responsible about his or her belongings. One must know how to bear the loss bravely and courageously and move on. One must not be emotionally attached to the materialistic things. Let's read the poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. So the poet started the poem where the boy is playing with his ball near the harbor. Harbor is a place where ships are protected and kept. And for the first time in his young life, he is learning what it is like to experience grief at the loss of a much loved possession, that is his ball. The ball here symbolic of the sweet memories of his childhood, and somewhere the poet is also standing at the same place, hiding himself, and he is looking at the boy. Now the poet is questioning to the reader that what is the boy now? What is the condition of the boy now who has lost his ball, his valuable possession? What will he do? He is in a depressed state, and what will he do to overcome it? I saw it go merrily bouncing. Merrily means very happily. Here, ball is personified, where the ball is jumping very happily and down to the street. So, the boy loses his ball and watches it bouncing down the street into the water. Then, merrily over there, it is in the water. So, the ball fell down into the water. The poet also has observed this. To us, the loss of the ball is of minor consequence, but to the little boy, that is very valuable possession. The ball is a very inexpensive thing. We can buy it another, but no. Oh, there are other bowls means to say that the word suggests that the loss is not important enough to worry about. For us, it was an ordinary bowl, but for the boy, it was a very valuable possession for him because his sweet memories of his childhood were associated with it. The poet is saying that it is very useless to say that there are other bowls and no other bowl can replace it because the bowl had been with him for a long time and it was linked to the memories of the days when he played with it. The boy's ball personifies his young days and happy innocence. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another bowl is worthless. Let's see the word meanings of this stanza. Ultimate means final. Shaking grief means sadness which greatly affects the boy. Rigid means stiff like a statue. Trembling, that is shivering. Harbor, a place where ships are loaded and unloaded goods. Intrude on, that is to enter a situation where one is not welcomed. A dime is equal to 10 cents. Cents is generally the European currency, which is used in USA, Australia, etc., and which is equivalent to 31 paisa, that is Indian currency, Indian coin. So in this stanza, the poet is saying that the boy is very much troubled at the loss of his ball, very much grieved, and he stands very stiff like a statue. He is trembling while staring downside at the ball, that where the ball has gone. He is very upset as he looks into the gloomy water because he cannot find the ball again. When the ball bounces into the water, all his memories of the childhood days flashes in front of him. For him, these are also swashed away. This leads to the realization that those moments would never come back, just like the ball. Now, he senses first responsibility. In a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. Now he senses his first responsibility. In a word of possessions. Possessions means our belongings, that is owned by us. So ball is used as a metaphor for materialistic possession of a person, the loss of which is painful experience. So now when the boy loses his ball, he senses first responsibility. Ball is used as a metaphor for materialistic possession of a person, the loss of which is very painful experience. A truth of life is experienced by the boy. Materialistic possessions are often lost and they can't be substituted. Money cannot bring the lost things back. It can only buy new ones to replace them. The boy is getting the first-hand knowledge of what or how it feels on losing something dear. and how to muster up the courage to be able to bear the loss and get reconciled. The poet makes the boy understand about his responsibility because our belongings are our responsibilities. So, first, he senses his responsibility to take care of his belongings. Then the poet says that money is external. External means here we can say irrelevant because it can't buy memories nor can it replace the things that we love, the things that really matter. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. This epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up. Desperate means hopeless. Epistemology of loss means understanding the nature of loss. What does it mean to lose something? Epistem is a Greek word which means knowledge, to understand, to know something. So, in this stanza, the poet suggests that from the loss of the ball, the boy is learning how to stand up, how to move on in a world of possessions. The boy is learning what it means to lose something. The poet says that knowing that every man has to stand up after such losses, and the boy too will learn how to move on and leave the loss behind as he would have understood the true meaning, the true nature of loss. We have to muster of courage and bravely we have to face the situation. The theme of the poem is that people possesses a number of things. Some of them get lost, but loss is an inevitable part of life and should not give an emotional setback. One must courageously move on, leaving the loss behind, as it is not the end of the life. The poem, the bowl poem, is about how small and insignificant incidents of life yield significant lessons and prepare one gradually to face the harsh realities of life. It captures a young boy's state of mind whose playful activities are suddenly interrupted as his ball is lost. The incident has a large meaning to prepare one to face those intense moments when life snatches what is dear to us. Let's discuss the poetic devices used in the ball poem. First is alliteration, the repetition of initial consonant sound in the closely connected words. The example is buys a ball back, B sound is repeated. Balls, balls, B sound is repeated. What, W sound is repeated. Next is transferred epithet, where an emotion is attributed to the non-living things. For example, shaking grief. Grief is not shaking, but the boy. Second example is desperate eyes. The eyes of the boys are not desperate, but he himself was desperated. Next is repetition, repeating the words, phrases, clauses to emphasize or to provide unity to the words. For example, what is repeated here? Balls, balls, ball is repeated here. Knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days. How to stand up. The word know is repeating here. Next is symbolism. A figure of speech where an object, person, or situation has another meaning other than its literal meaning. The boy symbolizes the boy's young and innocent days, the childhood innocence, and the childhood memories also. Secondly, the ball symbolizes the possessions of a person. Next poetic device is personification. Ball is personified in the phrase merrily bouncing, where inanimate ball is jumping happily like a human being. Metaphor, direct comparison between two unlike things without using as or like. For example, comparison between the lost ball and the childhood, all his young days into the harbor. Contrast, where two opposite terms are given. Ball is shown to have rolled away merrily, which is contrasted with the gloomy mood, sad mood of the boy. Imagery, where the poet is successful in presenting the clear image of the poem in front of the reader, where it is presented with the sad mood, depressed mood of the boy at the loss of his valuable ball. Enchapment, the continuation of the sentence without using any punctuation mark. Here we can see that an ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. So here the sentence is continued without using any punctuation mark at the end of the line. Anaphora, the word is repeated in the beginning of the lines. For example, merrily bouncing, merrily over. Merrily word is repeated again and again. What word is repeated in the first two lines to give emphasis on the sentences. The last poetic device is epiphany. Epiphany is a moment of sudden realization, where we can see in these lines, he is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up. His realization about loss and responsibility represents an epiphany.